Hello everybody, we're getting ready to do lesson 8.3 of Pre-Algebra Math Part 1. And today's lesson is using intercepts, about using intercepts to graph. And we have a 34-point class worksheet and a 10-point note-taking guide here. Today's bell work teachers, the graph of which equation is shown here. Here's your graph. And then find a percent of the number, 90% of 80. Give your students about 4 minutes. Okay, welcome back for your solutions to today's bell work. I would be the solution here. Y equals 2, 1, 2. It's a horizontal line. And then finding 90% of 80 is we just multiply 80 times 90% and we get 72 through here. Okay, to our lesson today. You've graphed using tables of solutions. You will use x and y intercepts to graph linear equations. You can graph a linear quickly by recognizing that only 2 points are needed to draw a line. It is often convenient to choose points where the line crosses the axes. The x-coordinate of a point where a graph crosses the x-axis is the x-intercept. The y-coordinates of a point where a graph crosses the y-axis is the y-intercept. The graph shown has an x-intercept of -6 and a y-intercept of 4. So where is that graph? Here it is. We have a y-intercept of 4 and then an x-intercept of -6. -6, 0. -6 here. 0, -6, 0, then this is when x equals 0, y equals 4. This is 0, 4 here, is what this should be here, 0, 4. Finding intercepts. To find x-intercept of line, substitute 0 for y in the line's equation and solve for x. To find the y-intercept of a line, substitute 0 for x in the line's equation and solve for y. Students, in your own words, define x-intercept and define intercept. Okay, example 1, find the intercepts of a graph. To find the y-intercept, let x equals 0 and solve for y. Let x equals 0. Here's our equation here. Let x equals 0 here. So we plug in 0, we get -2y equals 6. We solve for y, and y equals -3. So there is our when x equals 0, y equals -3, that would be our y-intercept. Define the intercepts of the graph 3x minus 2y. Define the x-intercept, let y equals 0. So we plug in 0 for y. There's our y. Plug in a 0 there, and then we solve for x. 3x equals 6, x equals 2. So when y equals 0, x equals 2, there is our x-intercept there. The x-intercept is 2 and the y-intercept is -3. Okay, find the intercepts of the equations graphed here, then graph the equation. Same thing for here for you students on your independent practice. Let's do our guided practice first now. So we plug in 0 for y, and then we solve for x equals -4. So when y equals 0, x equals -4, there's our x-intercept. And then to find our y-intercept, we plug in 0 for x and y equals -8. So when x equals 0, y equals -8, and when y equals 0, x equals -4. Then we sketch a line like that. Okay, example 2, using intercepts to graph an equation. Graph the equation from the example 1. So did we already do that? Well, let's see. The x-intercept is 2, so plot the point 2, 0. The y-intercept is -3, so plot the point as 0, -3. Students, do that here on this grid. Draw a line through the 2 points, and it should look like this here. So this is what it would be. Here's your x-intercept. When y is 0, x is 2, and when x is 0, y is -3 for this equation here. Now we have these here. y equals negative 2. This is your students. We're going to do this now to give you a way to do it. So we plug in 0 for x, or rather 0 for y here. X equals negative 2. Plot this. And then when x equals 0, y equals negative 1. So when y equals 0, x equals negative 2. That'd be about there. And then when x equals 0, y equals 1 would be about here. So that would be your line approximately like that. There is your line there. So that is what you should be plotting, students, for you guided practice. Students, you're on your own here. And that is 8.3, part 1, part 2, part 3, available with this email, as well as all the other materials here. Thank you.